Welcome to English Bookshelf, where every book becomes a mirror and every story helps you rediscover yourself. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that your life is slowly slipping into chaos. You feel lost, uncertain, distracted. You compare yourself to others. You question your purpose. You wonder if you are doing enough, or if you are even moving in the right direction. Now imagine someone telling you that the solution is not outside you. It is inside your daily choices, your habits, your responsibility, your discipline. This is the core idea of 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan B. Peterson, a book that doesn't just give you advice. It challenges you to face life with courage, responsibility, and truth. Peterson begins with a powerful idea that life is a constant balance between order and chaos. Order is structure, stability, routine, safety. Chaos is uncertainty, change, risk, and the unknown. Every human life exists between these two forces. Too much order, and life becomes rigid, boring, and meaningless. Too much chaos, and life becomes stressful, confusing, and overwhelming. The goal of life is not to eliminate chaos. The goal is to learn how to stand strong in the middle of it. And that is where his first rule begins. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it carries deep meaning. Peterson explains this using the example of lobsters, creatures that have existed for millions of years. Even they have a dominance hierarchy. When a lobster wins a fight, its posture changes. It stands taller. It becomes more confident. Its brain chemistry changes. It becomes stronger. The same is true for humans. Your posture, your body language, your attitude, they affect your confidence and how the world responds to you. Standing up straight is not just about posture. It is about choosing courage over fear. It is about facing life with strength even when it is difficult. It is about deciding that you will not hide from your problems, you will confront them. The second rule takes us deeper into how we treat ourselves. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Peterson explains that many people are kind and helpful to others, but harsh and careless with themselves. They neglect their health, ignore their goals, and allow themselves to fall into bad habits. But if you truly care about your life, you must treat yourself with the same care, discipline, and responsibility that you would give to someone you love. Because your life matters. The third rule challenges the people you surround yourself with. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Not everyone in your life wants you to grow. Some people are comfortable in their own problems and will try to pull you down with them. Real friends push you to improve. They support your growth. They want you to become better. And being around such people changes your direction in life. The fourth rule brings a powerful shift in perspective. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. In today's world, comparison is everywhere. Social media constantly shows you people who seem more successful, more attractive, more accomplished. But Peterson reminds us that comparison with others often leads to frustration and insecurity. The only meaningful comparison is with your own past self. Are you improving? Are you learning? Are you growing? If you are even slightly better than yesterday, you are on the right path. The fifth rule brings us to responsibility and discipline. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. At a deeper level, this rule is not just about parenting. It is about setting boundaries, creating discipline, and building character. A life without rules and boundaries leads to chaos. But discipline, structure, and responsibility create strength and respect. Peterson explains that love is not just kindness. Love is also guidance. Love is also correction. Love is helping someone become better. And this applies not only to children, but also to yourself. As your audience listens to this part, they begin to realize that this book is not giving easy comfort. It is giving powerful responsibility. It is asking you to take control of your life, to stand up with strength, to treat yourself with care, to choose better people, to improve daily, to build discipline. And slowly, a realization begins to form. Maybe life does not need to be perfect, but it can be meaningful. And meaning comes from responsibility. This is where the journey of 12 rules for life truly begins. As we move deeper into the ideas of this book, Jordan Peterson begins to take us beyond simple advice and into something much more challenging, the courage to confront the truth. Because the next set of rules is not about comfort. It is about growth. And growth is never easy. Peterson explains that one of the biggest reasons people feel lost or stuck in life is because they avoid responsibility. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid confronting their own weaknesses. But avoiding truth does not remove problems. It only hides them until they become bigger. This is where one of the most powerful rules appears. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. It is very easy to point fingers at society, at politics, at family, at circumstances. It is easy to complain about everything that is wrong outside. But Peterson asks a harder question. Have you put your own life in order? Is your room clean? Are your habits disciplined? Are you taking responsibility for your actions? Are you telling the truth to yourself? Because if your own life is in chaos, criticizing the world will not solve anything. True change begins within. When you bring order to your own life, you gain strength. And from that strength, you can begin to make a real difference in the world. Then comes another powerful rule. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Expedient means easy, comfortable, quick, and pleasurable. But the easy path often leads to emptiness. Peterson explains that real fulfillment comes from meaning. And meaning comes from responsibility, effort, and sacrifice. When you choose what is meaningful, you choose the harder path. But that path builds strength, purpose, and long-term satisfaction. This is why people who chase only comfort often feel empty, while people who take responsibility often feel fulfilled. The book then moves into one of its most important ideas, truth. Tell the truth, or at least, don't lie. This is not just about lying to others. It is about lying to yourself. Every time you ignore reality, every time you avoid responsibility, every time you pretend something is okay when it is not, you create more chaos in your life. Truth may be uncomfortable. It may be painful. It may require change. But it also creates clarity. And clarity leads to order. Peterson explains that when you live in truth, your life becomes stable. Your relationships become honest. Your mind becomes clear. But when you live in lies, everything becomes unstable. The book then shifts to the importance of listening and understanding others. Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. This rule teaches humility. We often think we already know everything. We interrupt others, judge them quickly, and ignore their perspective. But every person you meet has lived a different life, faced different challenges, and learned different lessons. If you truly listen, you can learn something valuable. This not only improves your knowledge, it also improves your relationships. Because when people feel heard, they feel respected. As your audience listens to this part, they begin to feel the depth of this book. It is not giving simple motivational lines. It is asking for honesty, responsibility, discipline, humility. It is asking you to become stronger from the inside. And slowly, a deeper understanding begins to form. Life will always contain suffering. There will always be chaos. There will always be challenges. But you are not helpless. You can create order in your own life. You can take responsibility. You can pursue meaning. You can speak the truth. You can grow stronger. And this is where the book prepares us for its final and most emotional lessons: how to face suffering, how to find hope, and how to build a life that is truly worth living. As the journey through this book continues, the tone becomes deeper, more emotional, and more real. Because now, Jordan Peterson begins to speak directly about one of the hardest truths of life: suffering. Life is not always fair. It is not always kind. It is not always easy. Everyone experiences pain, loss, failure, and disappointment at some point. And the question is not whether suffering exists. The question is how you face it. Peterson explains that when suffering comes, you have two choices. You can let it destroy you, or you can use it to transform you. This is where another powerful rule appears. Be precise in your speech. At first, this may sound simple, but its meaning is deep. When something is wrong in your life, you must learn to define it clearly. What exactly is the problem? Where did it begin? What part of it is within your control? Because when your problems are vague, they feel overwhelming. But when you define them clearly, they become manageable. Clarity reduces fear, and clarity gives you the power to act. The book then introduces a gentle but profound idea about humility and learning. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. This rule is symbolic. It reminds us that growth requires risk. When a child is learning to skateboard, they fall, they get hurt, they try again. That is how they grow stronger. In the same way, life requires risk. If you try to protect yourself from every failure, every discomfort, every challenge, you will also prevent yourself from growing. Strength comes from facing challenges, not avoiding them. Then comes one of the most touching rules in the book. Pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. This simple idea carries a deep message. Life is full of suffering, uncertainty, and chaos. But in the middle of all that, there are small moments of beauty, calm, and peace. A quiet walk, a kind smile, a moment of silence, a simple connection. Peterson reminds us to notice those small moments. Because even in difficult times, life still offers small pieces of goodness. And those small moments give us strength to keep going. As your audience listens to this part, they begin to feel something shift inside them. They begin to see life not as something that needs to be perfect, but as something that needs to be meaningful. They begin to understand that pain is part of life, but so is growth. And that strength is built not by avoiding difficulty, but by facing it with courage and responsibility. Peterson's message becomes clear. You cannot control everything that happens in your life, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to stand up with strength. You can choose to take responsibility. You can choose to speak the truth. You can choose to build order in your life. And in doing so, you can create a life that is not free from suffering, but full of meaning. As the book moves toward its final message, it prepares us for a powerful conclusion that a meaningful life is not found in comfort, but in responsibility, honesty, courage, and purpose. As the journey through 12 rules for life comes to its final moments, everything begins to come together into one clear and powerful realization. Life is difficult. Life is unpredictable. Life will challenge you, test you, and sometimes even break you. But you are not powerless. Jordan Peterson reminds us that within each person lies the ability to create order out of chaos, not by avoiding responsibility, but by embracing it, not by running away from problems, but by facing them directly, not by blaming the world, but by improving yourself. The final message of the book is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming stronger. Stronger in your mindset, stronger in your discipline, stronger in your honesty, stronger in your ability to carry the weight of your life with courage. Peterson makes it clear that a meaningful life is not an easy life. Meaning requires effort. Meaning requires sacrifice. Meaning requires responsibility. But in return, meaning gives you something powerful, purpose. And purpose gives you the strength to endure difficulty, to face suffering, and to keep moving forward even when life feels uncertain. As your audience listens to this final part, they begin to understand something deeply important. They realize that they don't need to wait for the perfect moment to change their life. Change begins with small actions. Standing up with confidence, taking care of yourself, choosing better people, improving one step at a time, telling the truth, taking responsibility. Each of these small actions creates order in your life. And over time, that order becomes stability. That stability becomes strength. And that strength becomes a meaningful life. Peterson's message is not about removing chaos from life. Chaos will always exist. But you can learn to stand strong within it. You can build a life that is grounded in truth, responsibility, and purpose. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop feeling lost. You stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. Instead, you begin to feel like you are shaping your life with intention. As the music softens and the message settles, one final thought remains. You do not need to fix everything at once. You just need to start. Start by improving one small thing in your life. Then another. Then another. Because small improvements, repeated daily, create powerful transformation over time. And that is the true message of 12 rules for life. Not a quick fix, not easy comfort, but a path of responsibility, a path of discipline, a path of truth, a path of meaning. And as your video ends, your audience is left with one powerful realization, that a better, stronger, more meaningful life is not something they have to search for. It is something they can begin building, starting today. If this video inspired you, subscribe to English Bookshelf for more stories, more learning, and more inspiration. Until the next book, keep reading, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself.